Sounds of joy in the house, everybody. So you're going to want to get on your feet for this in body or in spirit. We're singing At the Table by Richard Smallwood in his honor and memory. And I just want to tell you, there will not be words on the screen. Don't freak out. Just listen. You're going to catch on. There's a lot of repetition in this. So we're going to be, especially the words, the feast of the Lord is spread, where the feast of the Lord is spread. All right. Take it away, Sounds of Joy.
Come on in where the table is spread, and the feast of the Lord is going on. Come on in where the table is spread, and the feast of the Lord is going on. Come on in where the table is spread, and the feast of the Lord is going on. Come on in where the table is spread, and the feast of the Lord is going on. Joy is here where the table is spread, and the feast of the Lord is going on. Joy is here where the table is spread, and the feast of the Lord is going on. It's over here.
Seeking healing for your soul.
Over here.
Seeking for divine inspiration.
It's over here.
If you wanna be made whole.
Over here. Love is here where the table is spread, and the feast of the Lord is going on. Love is here where the table is spread, and the feast of the Lord is going on. If you need more strength and more power, relief from your burden and your pain, seeking joy to replace your sorrows, feast and you will never be the same. Peace is here where the table is spread, and the feast of the Lord is going on. Peace is here where the table is spread, and the feast of the Lord is going on. It's here right now. What you need is waiting at the table. It's here right now. What you need is waiting at the table. It's here right now. What you need is waiting at the table. It's here right now. What you need at the table, at the table, at the table, at the table is here. At the table, at the table, at the table, at the table is here. At the table, at the table, at the table, at the table, at the table is here. At the table, there is joy. At the table, there is peace. At the table, at the table is here. At the table, there is love. At the table, at the table, set before you. Is here. At the table, 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 at the table is here. At the table, 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 it's here.
Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. My name is Carl, and I'm glad to be with everybody.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone. My name is Carolyn Jansen, and happy Valentine's Day.
We want to greet and bless everyone who's with us online. We're so glad to have you guys here. We really do. It matters. You're part of this whole morning get-together, and we're glad to have you. Please join me now in welcoming formally our featured musicians, Sounds of Joy. And they are Deborah, Martha, and Cassandra, not to be confused with Cassandra Wilson, who's another great singer. I told her I'll never forget her name now that I linked those two together. And they are joined by the phenomenal Thomas on piano. Thank you, guys. And our house band, Dusty on bass and Dan on drums. All of you guys, thank you.
And Reverend Kristen will deliver today's message, and it's titled Welcoming Unlikely Friends. It's part of our Peace Builder series, part 3 of 6.
Before we begin, I invite you to turn your phones off or at least to silent mode as we share the sacred service time together.
Let us take a moment to be grateful for the land upon which our center rests, Bay Miwok and Ohlone land.
We honor the Bay Miwok and Ohlone people of the past and of the current day, and we are so grateful for their stewardship and care of this land, and we make a commitment now to care for not only these lands, but all of Mother Earth.
Unity is a positive path for spiritual growth. Our vision of the world is, and let's say this together, we envision a spiritually awakened world where all life thrives in conscious oneness.
And our mission is who we have come here to be. So again, let's say this together. We are a loving, inclusive community, expanding and living our divinity for all, service for all. And our 4 core values are love, connection, service, and wisdom.
And if you're with us for the first time, welcome. And if you feel comfortable, raise your hand. And we have a little gift for you. Our ushers have a gift for you. And this is a welcome packet. In addition to the information that's in that packet, it also includes a $10 coupon. And you can use that for any of the events that we have here at Unity. And you could attend a class or one of the other events. We're just really happy to have you here. And please join us on the patio afterwards so we have a chance to get to know you better.
Or more likely, if it starts raining on schedule, inside the bookstore where we have nice coffee and fellowship in there. We're looking at 24 hours of rain, folks. Yay. Yeah, needed. The connection cards are available for everyone. They're in the seat pocket in front of you. And if you have a request, please, or want information, please put the card in the basket along with the offering.
We have several highlights of activities to highlight for you this week.
Are you ready to make some joyful noise this spring? Yes, even if you're just in the audience, sure. But you can lift your voice and share your joy of music and community by joining the Unity Choir. This spring, the spring choir session includes 7 weeks of inspiring rehearsals, culminating in a special Easter Sunday performance on April the 5th. Rehearsals begin this Monday, so tomorrow at 7 o'clock. You can sign up on the patio following the service, or you can go and connect by email to office@unityofwalnutcreek.org. Come be a part of something joyful. I know those who participate get a lot out of it, as we do listening to you guys.
Would you like to experience God as real, present, and active around you and with you at all times? Come to a new class that explores reality, spirituality, and scientifically with Reverend Dr. Carol Richardson starting Tuesday, February 24th. Is Carol here?
She was out in the patio. There she is.
There she is.
Standing in the back.
Yeah, this is a really exciting new course. It's a 5-week workshop, and it blends spiritual insight with scientific understanding. It's drawing from Carol's work on universal consciousness and the quantum vacuum. Experience inspiring teachings and practices that nourish your mind, open your heart, and deepen your felt connection with the divine presence. Pre-register in the bookstore on Sunday mornings to receive a discount on the series.
And also, would you like to replace stress and tension with playful, liberating, and fun movement? So we got the class. Yes. Well, you always are moving. I bet you will. So be sure to come to a new class called Embodied Freedom, on the fourth Friday of the month at 7 o'clock at night. This class will help you reconnect with your body's innate wisdom through spontaneous, free-form movement in a safe, non-judgment space and explore authentic self-expression. Yeah, all right, fun.
Yes.
Get a little here. Accessible to all abilities, no experience needed. Just bring yourself, an open heart, a water bottle, and comfortable clothing. Save money by registering online or in Unity's bookstore.
Yeah, I'd like to invite Kat Hill to the platform so she can tell us about our upcoming event.
It is the season to get crabby. Unity's annual crab feed fundraiser is Saturday, February 28th at 6 p.m. at the Pleasant Hill Senior Center. There we will have delicious crab, plus chicken, pasta, bread, salad, non-alcoholic beverages, and of course our internationally famous dessert auction. You don't want to miss that. It is really that good. Tickets are already on sale. We've actually only got one more week to get your tickets. This is going to sell out, so be sure to get your tickets. They are in the bookshop, or you can get them online. You get a little bit of a break when you buy them in the bookstore because you don't have to pay that online fee. And there are some, we still need a few volunteers, so there will be signups in the back at one of the tables outside. I will be there, and if you sign up, you get to wear my hat. So get cracking, get your tickets, and don't miss it. Thank you.
And if we haven't changed it, Kat, you can bring your own adult beverage. Is that the idea?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, we decided it was a lot easier than having the wine and everything there. You can bring your own and pop a cork and good to go.
As we prepare for our time of meditation, please join me in taking a deep, conscious breath and affirming our statement of faith together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. We begin with music and followed by guided meditation and silence.
Will be with you. I will be with you. I will be with you if you would only trust me, trust me, trust me. I'll never leave you. I'll never leave you. I'll never leave you if you would only trust me, trust me, trust me. If you will only trust me, trust me, trust me. So let's breathe into that trust. Allow ourselves to lean in to Spirit. Perhaps even recalling the many times we have been carried or caught when we felt like we were falling. The countless ways we have been supported and inspired, comforted. And even in the moments when we've been brought to our knees, how that opening, that surrender reminded us that we can trust. That Spirit is always here, that God has our back. No matter what we are going through at any given point in life, maybe right now, that you can just breathe into the divine presence and know that's something you can count on to deliver whatever you need at any given moment. We trust ourselves to let go of whatever might stand in the way to accessing this very precious and true part of ourselves, the one we truly can trust. And so I trust. I trust myself to do what I am guided to do, to get out of the way and let the truest part of me lead me into light and love, health and wholeness, prosperity and harmony. I trust. You may want to repeat that to yourself silently as we move into a few moments of quiet. I trust. In the silence.
I trust. I trust my spirit and I trust myself. I trust that I have everything I need and that I am. That I am the very expression and essence of this one I trust, of this source from which I am made. I trust that I am guided in my life, that I am healed, and that I am prospered in every way. I trust. And so it is.
My peace is with you. My peace is with you. My peace is with you. If you will only trust me, trust me, trust me. If you will only trust me, trust me, trust me. If you will only trust me, trust me, trust me. If you will only trust me, trust me, trust me. Before we go into the next song, I just wanted to mention that the first two songs, At the Table and Trust Me, were composed by the late Richard Smallwood, who transitioned on December the 30th. And we are so grateful for the body of work that he left us. Thank you. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Good morning or evening, friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster, could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. It's that love's in need of love today. Don't delay. Send yours in right away. Hate's going round, breaking many hearts. Stop it please, before it's gone too far. The darkened hearts of man will make you its possession. And it will if we let it destroy everybody. We all must take precautionary measures. If love and peace you treasure, then you'll hear me when I say, is that love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Hate's going round, breaking many, many hearts. Stop it please, before it's gone too far. You know that love in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. You know that hate's going round, breaking many, many hearts. You gotta stop it please, before it's gone too far. Ooh.
Thank you. Sounds of Joy. Fabulous. What a brilliant concept, right? Love needs love. Yeah, so true. So as we continue to celebrate Black History Month, I really appreciate, too, that Sounds of Joy that you chose and honored Richard Smallwood, the iconic gospel composer and singer who was inducted into the Gospel Music Hall of Fame and won numerous awards, had a really stunning career. And as Alex Tate brought us this history of Black music and the influence of what he called the Negro spiritual, and all through the history that he took us on music today, and every kind of music we can think of. You know, the profound influence. So I really appreciate the very personal share of Richard Smallwood having influenced your music. So thank you for presencing him today. You know, music itself can be peace building, right? Music itself, as we sing together, especially as we come together in community, and as you heard just the beautiful harmonies that you just heard, the whole idea of that all this difference, all this diversity comes together into unity, comes in together and creates something even more beautiful out of the various voices, so to speak, the various instruments, the various ways that can be, we can suss that out in terms of the metaphors of music. And that really is what we're talking about today, is peace building as a way of us celebrating the diversity and differences that allow us to grow. So as we continue on this journey, we're going to sprinkle it a little bit with love since it's Valentine's Day weekend. And appreciate all those who remembered or who are still wearing red from yesterday. So have you ever had an unlikely friend? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of you are nodding. Like somebody that you would have never pictured the two of you getting along, let alone becoming close, because you were maybe so different, right? And yet, how beautiful that can be that we find one another and that we do develop these close relationships that we might not otherwise have imagined. I've had a lot of unlikely friends in my life as I think back, even back to my wee days when I was in preschool and kindergarten. My besties were old men in the neighborhood. The guy next door, Mr. Miller, he was probably about 70, so in comparison to my age at the time, that was quite a stretch. And Mr. Miller and I would just hang out on his patio and talk all afternoon. I don't even have any memory of what we talked about, except I think once I told him that my dad snored and my mom would put Vicks on his nose in the night to get him to stop snoring. Because I think that came back around to my parents. But sometimes Mrs. Miller would even bring out lemonade and cookies, and I just have these very, other than not really having a memory of it, what I do have a memory of is sitting there and being in his presence and really enjoying those visits. There was another man down the street. He seemed to me like intriguingly ancient, and so kind, Mr. Van Duzen. So I would just ride my bike down and show up at his gate. And he was always so delighted to see me. And he would welcome me in and show me like his latest plantings or what's sprouting or what he's about to harvest. And, he always was donning this big straw sun hat, and he'd move around his garden with a cane. And he seemed to be as delighted with me as I was with him. And so, you think about that today. Wouldn't it be great if elderly men and little girls could be friends and we wouldn't be all freaked out about it? We can build a world like that. We can have a world where we trust one another and where we have peace. We are healing. Even though it may not look like it when things look really chaotic in the world, it's a process of healing. It's a process of letting go of the old so that the light can come through, so that the love can be known again, so we can trust each other and we can live in peace with one another. I've had some unlikely friends in my adulthood too. I imagine you have as well. A couple that I can think of were these big bearish men, Stephen and then later Dennis. And in both cases, we were the most unlikely pair. I was this young feminist and they were these older sexist men. And it didn't matter. I don't know. We just loved each other. We just enjoyed each other's company. So there's just there's this thing, this magic of spirit and love that is so much greater, that overpowers or breaks through whatever that we think is about that, oh no, that person is too different from me. And then that love comes, right? And surprises us maybe, or at least, nourishes us in some way, inspires us in some way, and especially grows us, I think. Consider for a moment Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the former Supreme Court Justice, along with, on the same bench, Antonin Scalia. Completely different, right? Ideologies, they couldn't have been more different. They were always dissenting each other's opinions, fiercely, vehemently. And yet here were these great friends. They would go to dinner all the time. They both loved the arts. They would go to the opera together. They even went on vacation together. And you see them on that elephant, that one of their jokes was that Antonin said, oh, Ruth's, feminist friends always make fun of this picture and say, she's sitting behind me. And she says, she kind of smacks him on the arm and says, that elephant, the guy that was in charge of the elephant said we sat that way because we had to redistribute the weight. But they were like that with each other, It didn't matter that they held different beliefs. Because they were friends and their friendship superseded that. So where we've come today is sort of this way of looking at each other as one-dimensional beings, it seems like, letting the world or whoever decides this is a good idea bring forth more of this us versus them identity, this us versus them experience. But we don't have to be pushed around by that, right? We don't have to allow ourselves, because peace builders say no to that. Peace builders say, I don't agree with that way of being. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There is no us and them, but there is celebration and much to be gained by our diversity, by our differences. That is actually something that creates a profound kind of connection for us, a greater unity. So while the world may continue to push on that, we can say no just like Jesus did. Jesus was a peace builder at every turn, right? And he certainly didn't abide by the us versus them approach to society. In fact, he kicked down a lot of those barriers. He invited diversity at every turn, every opportunity that he had. He allowed a woman who'd been bleeding for 12 years to touch him, to be healed. He hung out with, he brought together the disciples, the followers that were tax collectors and prostitutes and women and mentally ill people. He included on purpose, because he knew that the more diverse we come together, the more different experiences we have, the greater we co-create together. The more powerful and potent the things that we make together through our relationships, through our sharing of our differences, but through our honoring of our differences, celebrating, and not that horrible ugh word, tolerating, just like that always makes me cringe, I don't want to be tolerated, and I'm not tolerating you, because that certainly doesn't sound very inviting, does it? But we still tend to kind of use this, like we're tolerating each other's differences. And it's like, ugh, no, we're not tolerating. We're celebrating each other's differences. We're inviting each other's differences. We're allowing, because we know it helps us grow. It helps us unite. It helps us create something better in the world, a greater love, a more powerful love, a more interesting love, a more interesting life when we say yes to all of this. Jesus, hung out with a Samaritan woman at the well. He healed the Roman centurion. I mean, the stories go on and on to demonstrate, to allow us to see that this way shower showed us that the way is inclusivity, not us versus them. But allowing. It's not about also erasing our differences. It's again, bringing them together and honoring them. Peace builders do that by nature. Peace builders find it engaging and enhancing to be in the presence of others with various experiences and know that they grow through those connections. So this doesn't mean we accept harmful behavior from others. We still speak our truth. In fact, when we are in a trusting relationship, it's more transformative, isn't it? It's more possible that we can help each other transform each other's perspectives because we develop trust with each other. So we're more willing to hear feedback and give feedback to one another because we have that base. Now, there might be more at risk because we've developed that relationship, but it's worth taking that risk, isn't it? In these kind of close relationships where we can call each other out and help each other grow. So peace building is about accepting and loving each other with our flaws and our wounds and with our gifts and our wonderful qualities. Peace builders just allow, but they also call up. So we can even be intentional about this. Have you ever intentionally made a friend who was different than you? Have you ever intentionally reached out or made an invitation for somebody to be a part of your life? And part of the draw was your difference, was the diversity, was something that they had to offer you and perhaps you had to offer them because of some kind of difference. I mean, once we start thinking about diversity and looking for diversity, we'll find all kinds of diversity, right? Because every one of us is a unique human being, of course. So there's lots of ways to look at this and lots of ways to invite it in. I remember Bill Bradley talking about this. Do you know who he is? The former professional basketball player and senator who he hosts a radio show called American Voices. But a long time ago, I remember hearing him say, I think on the radio, if he used this example, if all of your friends are white, make friends with somebody of color. And it was just, one example of the ways that we can reach across our differences and learn from each other and grow together and heal together and create a better world together. Because that's what we're really after, isn't it? It's like we want to experience for ourselves a more magical world, a more peaceful world, a more loving world. And it's already here for us. I don't mean to indicate it always has to be different than it is, because it is here. It is available to us. It is already here in a way. It's just, letting go of the stuff that stands in the way, like we talked about last year probably, and last week. It's that dropping of the stuff that stands in the way, right? And that's what keeps us in these kinds of dynamics that don't allow us to come together. Sometime I heard Bill Bradley say that, and I realized that I was in this kind of very growing relationship. My first partner was Black, and I learned so much in that relationship. And besides just having a loving relationship and wonderful memories, I witnessed the painful truths of how she walked through the world and how I didn't have those barriers for myself. And having that close relationship for all those years allowed me to experience that in a different way. Of course, it's still not my experience, but it was closer, a closer witnessing, a closer listening, a closer seeing, a closer experiencing. I remember once we went to this restaurant in Cincinnati, and she felt very uncomfortable in there. It's like everybody was eating. You could hear the knives and forks, and they all got set down as we walked into the restaurant. And it was just a very bizarre thing I'd never experienced before. And we sat down, and it was like people were looking at us, and she said, "I want to go." And I went into, "You've got a right to be here. We've got a right to be here," just like my whole little righteous thing. And I just didn't realize how insensitive I was being and how unsafe she felt. Today, is that so crazy? Is that so not what we want to experience in the world? What we want to experience, we already know, we already hold, we already envision. And my suggestion today is that we be proactive about that we be proactive about welcoming our unlikely friends or welcoming the differences and celebrating the diversity so we can heal those experiences and so that we can obliterate them eventually from ever even happening at all to anyone, for any reason, for any perceived difference. So how about you? What kind of relationships if you think about your lifetime, what kind of relationships have really grown you or friendships have grown you more than any others? And when you think about one, if it helps you to, I'm more the internal person. It helps me to close my eyes. It helps you to close your eyes, you can. But just as you kind of just scan through, see if there's a relationship, maybe a current one, that comes up for you and you think about, wow, I have grown so much because of that relationship. And then consider how difference has contributed to that, the difference between you and that person. How has that contributed to the growth? And just maybe bless that person. Give thanks for the relationship and the growing that you have done because of it. Does it appeal to you to develop more diverse relationships? Yeah. So maybe just to consider what's the next step I could take, or the first step I could take. Or maybe I know somebody already who I'd like to befriend, and how might you go about that? Peace building is not only outer work. We've been talking so far about relationships and being with other human beings in a kind of diverse celebration or welcoming of folks who are different from us. But what about inside? Because this is really where the spiritual work happens, isn't it? It's always essentially, it's an internal job. And so considering for a moment the ways that you welcome in the inner dimension or don't. And could you make friends with the aspects of yourself that you might otherwise dismiss or reject or judge? The Sufi poet Rumi has a classic poem that you might know called The Guest House that speaks to this. It goes like this. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Boy, we could just take that one verse, right? And know that that encapsulates the whole idea, whether we're talking about inner or outer, that each comes, has been sent as a guide from beyond. It's a radical invitation to welcome everything. Because we have been taught, most of us, to control uncomfortable emotions, right? To tamp down or to hide those uncomfortable emotions, to suppress what feels unworthy in us, to pretend that they're not there, to reject those parts of ourselves, what we don't like, or what we think others don't like, what has been deemed negative. But peace begins with me, we say, right? And yes, it does. It begins inside of me. That's really the key of this walk. The profound key to world peace is inside of us. That's pretty amazing to think about. When we say peace begins with me, it's really what we're pointing to. Peace begins with me making peace within myself, welcoming all the parts and pieces of myself, inviting them all in, loving them, embracing them. Because when I can do that, I can do it out here. So much easier to do out here. Because we also know what happens with all the mirroring and deflecting, right? That happens when we are pointing at, judging, rejecting, dismissing out here. There's some part inside of us that we're rejecting, dismissing, etc., right? We all know this about how it works. So conflicts in the world are a mirror of the conflicts within us. And the one thing that we can do, each of us, that can be so, well, the one of many, but the very powerful thing that we can do is to do this inner work, this inner recognition of loving all these pieces and parts of ourselves, of welcoming them in like a giant guest house, this great temple that I am. I invite everybody. My temple doors are open for all these aspects of my own being into my own heart. And allowing them to be loved heals. And then eventually we don't need those things that have been trying to get our attention necessarily because we've healed through them. We've allowed ourselves to move through them. What we, of course, tend to judge in others is often something for us to look at in ourselves, right? Just as what we might admire in someone else is something to look at within ourselves. So welcoming these inner parts, when we welcome these parts of ourselves with compassion, we become more compassionate people. It's incredible. A few weeks ago, I keep doing that. I don't know. A couple weeks ago felt like a couple years ago, apparently, or vice versa. A few weeks ago, when Rita Marie was here and we were talking about the connection practice, it brought me back to when I first got exposed to compassionate communication, was what it really brought for me was self-empathy. And that, to me, is the crux of that work, is that developing self-empathy allowed me to have more empathy in my relationships. And so it really does come back to this inner work of self-compassion, self-empathy. And then when we welcome these parts of ourselves, when we become more compassionate with ourselves, we soften. You know, these things just naturally kind of happen for us. We become less reactive. And we become more spacious with difference in general. So inner reconciliation becomes outer peace building. And it's a really important aspect of the journey. I want to invite you into a meditation, if you'd like to play a little more in meditation time. And if you're comfortable, if you're most comfortable closing your eyes or not, whatever is good for you. But just taking a moment to kind of settle again, pause. And to let your breath kind of settle down too. Maybe taking a nice deep breath first. And then slowly releasing it. Another one of those. And just notice what's present in you right now, in your heart, in your being. Maybe it is a sense of peace. Maybe you have a feeling of joy, or perhaps there's a worry present. Maybe there's some sadness or tension. There's nothing to fix, we're just noticing. Imagine each of these feelings showing up as a guest at the door of your heart. And you can just breathe each one in without judgment. And as you welcome them in, maybe even silently saying, "You are welcome here. You are welcome in my heart. You are welcome in my body temple." Feel the spaciousness that welcome creates. And now let's extend this openness outward. Imagine offering the same compassion to others, even someone who's very different from you, or so it seems. You might even have somebody in mind, perhaps that you feel a little sense of conflict with or resistance to. And if so, you can just affirm the same divine light that is in you is in me. Releasing that and just breathing into your heart again, feeling the peace within you, the spaciousness. From this inner peace, I meet the world with love. I invite you to say that with me. From this inner peace, I meet the world with love. And so it is. So besides the meditation and the affirmations, we can bring this into our lives in some practical ways. And here's a few of them up on the screen. To just, in general, practice curiosity instead of judgment. And if you find yourself in a state of judgment in your mind, you could try to switch it into curiosity. See if you could ask yourself, what could I learn here? What could I learn from this reaction I'm having or this judgment I'm holding? And then, of course, expanding your circle intentionally. We've talked a lot about today, inviting, just diversity into your life, into your relationships. Then every day, maybe making part of your practice to invite and welcome your inner guests. Whatever's present, whatever emotions are present, or even thoughts that are present, noticing certain beliefs that, instead of just, oh, no, that's not, like we used to say in metaphysical, cancel, Let's instead welcome. Let's instead embrace, look, allow, bring it in, love it, and allow everybody to be welcome. And then see the divine, which is really what we're talking about anyway, right? Seeing the divine in ourselves and seeing the divine in others. And you can do that. That's silent blessing, that we just did in the meditation. The divine light that lives in you also lives in me. So just reminding ourselves again and again of these truths. Peace builders, in sum, welcome unlikely friends. They welcome the unlikely friends in our world, outside of us, our relationships, and they welcome the parts of ourselves that we maybe once pushed away, but now we're inviting in the spirit of that guest house. And as we become more and more at home with ourselves, then we become more and more this welcoming kind of energy in the world wherever we go. We don't see other so much anymore. In fact, we realize that there really is not other, ultimately, that we are one. Ultimately, this spiritual understanding is oneness. And yet we don't want to lose the beauty of the diversity that is a part of that. So springing forth from that oneness, from that Christ or divine spirit that we all share, is all the unique expressions. And so we're here to love it all, love all aspects of each other and ourselves. So this week, let's practice welcoming. Maybe you might honor another perspective or entertain another perspective. Maybe you'll work with a difficult emotion and inviting that in, or just practice seeing the divine in all beings, in all things. As we welcome every guest from within and all around, we build peace. So I want to invite you to say this with me. Together, I build peace by welcoming unlikely friends, both inner and outer. So it is. Thank you all online for joining us today.
Thomas, you're a delight. Let there be peace on earth. Beautiful song for us. Kristen, thank you so much. I really focused on, I was at the 9:30 and now at the 11:30. I really focused on the end of that. And when we talk about Namaste and we do it or we say it, but to really, really, really develop that and through the things that you talked about today is a challenge for us. It's a challenge we can take on. And I also think instead of even having to look for that unexpected new friend, just having put it out there. Now you watch over the next 4 weeks, we can all come back at the end of March and say, my goodness, look who showed up in my life. Yeah, surprise time. Our prayer chaplains are available after the service to provide personal prayer support. If you're a prayer chaplain serving today, please stand. There they are, purple, purple, purple. Thank you, guys.
Whether you have a joy or concern in your heart today, praying with our prayer chaplains is a powerful opportunity to have your intentions raised up in consciousness.
And now let's open our hearts to the practice of giving. I invite you to prepare your gifts as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, we shall receive, because in truth there is no lack or limitation, and abundance is our true nature.
For your convenience, there is a variety of ways to contribute to our community financially, shown on the screen. For those of you watching online, there is a donate button on the Watch Live page, and we encourage everyone to set up a free, regular, automatic giving to Unity using your bank's free bill pay service. Let go and let flow. That's the name of our Board of Trustees auto giving campaign. And our goal is to enroll 26 new Unity participants in 2026. And see Lola and Jen on the patio table today to learn more and receive a unique gift just for you. They'll be in the bookstore.
I think she's almost set up under the shelter there. But it's not raining, it's not pouring, but I don't want to see you got two guys get too wet.
It's starting.
Just sitting out there with a little umbrella over their head. Now I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hand and repeat our affirmation with me. Together,
Mother,
divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I receive, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. Thank you.
People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. The next stop that we make will be England. Tell all the folks in Russia and China too. Don't you take its time to get on board and make this train keep on riding, riding on through. Well, people all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train.
All of you brothers in Africa, tell all the folks in Egypt and Israel too. Please don't miss this train at the station, 'cause if you miss it, I feel sorry, sorry for you. People all over the world,
Join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. Let it ride, let it ride. world. Don't need no ticket. Come on. Come on. Step on board. Yeah, yeah. Join hands. Start a love train. Love train. People all over the world. Join hands. Start a love train. Love train. People all over the world.
Oh, thank you for bringing that song back to us. That's a perfect song, isn't it? Let's take it out into the streets. Let's take it everywhere. Oh, well, bless, bless, bless the music and all of us and all of the planet with the love train energy. And give thanks for these gifts and the givers that are giving that love, that allowing that love to rise up and heal whatever we need to heal and reveal whatever needs to be revealed so we can just be on that train together. I love the line, I'm sorry, I feel sorry for you that you missed the train. There'll be another stop, though. There'll be another opportunity, right? Let's bless this together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, constant flow of absolute good in our lives now. So it is. We are a circle of love. We are a circle of love. Come join the circle of love.
Good morning, everyone. Happy
Good
Sunday.
morning.
Happy day after Valentine's Day. Today we read a story, did some coloring, and just kind of prepared ourselves for.
So we have the bake sale today. So meet us on the patio after the service, and feel free to grab some snacks.
That's all we got today.
And where does the money go?
The money is going to go back to the youth program.
That's right. All right.
For various.
Okay, we're ready for the blessing?
We are.
Are you all ready for the blessing? All right, there's extra love in the house, so just get ready for your heart to receive. Together. Children, youth, and teachers, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divine light within you.
All right, let's get all our singers on board here.
Are you tuned in?
And please rise in body or spirit to join us in our closing song. Stand with your neighbor for a hand.
Nice.
This is my little sister Della. She lives with my grandma. So
I got you. Welcome.
Wherever I am, God is. Wherever you are, God is. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well.
are the light and the love. You are a peace builder on earth right now. So let your light shine. Have fun and spread joy.